Under the merciless sun of Cyrenaica, the wind carried the scent of dust and defiance. Across the vast, shimmering dunes, a figure emerged, riding with the purpose of a man who knew every grain of sand. He was an old man, his beard as white as the desert salt flats, his eyes holding the wisdom of generations, and his turban wrapped with unshakable dignity. His name, even now, echoes through those very sands: Omar Al-Mukhtar. He was the man an entire empire could not conquer. He was born in 1858 in a humble Berber village near Zanzibar. Raised among the proud Manifa tribe, his life was shaped by faith, hardship, and a deep-seated sense of honor. He wasn't born a warrior, but a scholar. Through the teachings of the influential Sanussiya order, he learned not just the tenets of his religion, but the principles of resistance. Knowledge became his first sword, and justice his shield. He once said, in a voice calm but firm with conviction, "Freedom is not bought, it is lived and defended." These words would become the creed of his life. In 1911, that creed was put to the ultimate test. Italian warships appeared on the Libyan coast, their cannons aimed at a land they believed would fall easily. They saw a divided territory, ripe for conquest. But they failed to see its guardians. They failed to account for the desert itself, and for the man who was its embodiment. At 50 years old, an age when most men seek peace, Omar Al-Mukhtar took command of the resistance. From the green mountains of Jebel al-Akhdar, he orchestrated a guerrilla war that baffled the Italian military machine. His strategy was genius in its simplicity and execution: swift attacks that materialized from nowhere, devastating ambushes in winding valleys, and a discipline among his fighters that was forged in loyalty, not fear. The Italians, with all their modern weaponry, found themselves haunted by the ghost of an old man in white. One frustrated officer was heard shouting, "He's everywhere. We chase him in one valley, he appears in another." For 2 decades, Omar Al-Mukhtar and his small bands of mujahideen held an empire at bay, fighting for every inch of their homeland. But this was not just a military campaign. For Omar, it was a spiritual one. He was a man of profound faith, who prayed before every battle. He wasn't fighting for fame, power, or wealth. He fought for justice, for dignity, and for the right of his people to live freely on their own land. His honor was legendary, even among his enemies. When an Italian soldier was captured, and his men clamored for revenge, Omar stopped them, declaring, "We are not murderers. Return him to his brothers." Even in the crucible of war, he never lost his humanity. After 20 long years of relentless struggle, the Italian net began to tighten. Under the command of the ruthless General Graziani, the war took a horrifying turn. A campaign of terror was unleashed. Its villages were burned, families exiled, and concentration camps were erected in the heart of the desert, designed to sever the resistance from its roots, the people. One fateful evening in the valley of Wadi Buhadi, the unthinkable happened. The lion, now over 70 years old, fell from his horse during a skirmish. He was captured. But capture is not defeat. He was taken to Benghazi and put before a military court. The trial was a sham, its verdict pre-written. When accused of being a rebel, he looked his accusers in the eye and replied with unwavering clarity, "I only defended my faith and my homeland." The sentence was death by hanging. But even in the face of his own mortality, his spirit refused to bow. Seeing a young officer tremble, Omar offered him words that would become immortal: "We do not surrender. We win, or we die." At dawn, on September 16, 1931, Omar Al-Mukhtar walked calmly toward the gallows. He refused the blindfold, wanting to face his destiny with open eyes. Before thousands of his countrymen, forced to watch from behind barbed wire, he stood tall, his gaze fixed, unafraid. The desert seemed to hold its breath. A profound silence fell. But his name rose higher than the rope that sought to silence him. Today his voice still whispers in every wind that crosses the Libyan sands. Omar Al-Mukhtar didn't just fight an occupying army, he fought against fear itself, and in doing so, he taught a nation and the world the true meaning of defiance. They killed the body of the lion, but the echo of his roar lives forever. Thank you for joining us on this incredible story of courage. If you were inspired, Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories of heroes who changed the world. We'll see you next time.